The BC Lions are favored by 5.5 points over the Edmonton Elks on Saturday night, making them the highest favorites of the week. That Snoop Dogg pun was intended, by the way, Hodge. A projected crowd of 50,000 plus is expected to be on hand at BC Place to watch the aforementioned rap icon perform before Buck Pierce and Mark Kilam make their respective debuts as CFL head coaches. This game will also feature two Canadian quarterbacks with a lot to prove in Nathan Rourke and Trey Ford. Which Canuck QB with a rookie HC comes out on top?
I think you got to give it to the BC Lions, right? Having such a huge crowd on hand is such a shot in the arm. The BC Lions have never lost a concert kickoff game. I know, JC, you've been there in person covering these games, and I think that momentum is going to spill out over into 2025. That being said, this is a new Edmonton Elks team. I think the Elks are going to bring it in 2025, just like Mark Kilam said on a video conference, where he may have also added an expletive that I won't repeat to him saying he's going to bring it in Edmonton. Trey Ford, lightning quarterback, that offensive line, arguably the best of the CFL. He's got a ton of weapons. Defensively, they've brought in essentially the entire starting defensive line of the Toronto Argonauts over, a unit we know is very good, a Grey Cup caliber unit. They won the Grey Cup in that very building not 7 months ago. Defensively in the backfield, I think this team is far improved, and I think they're also better than they have been on special teams in recent years. So I like the Elks. I like what they've been doing. I just don't think, with all the pomp and circumstance that goes into this game with the huge crowd, that they're going to do enough to get the win. I do think they're going to do enough to keep it close. Give me the BC Lions straight up, the Edmonton Elks against the spread.
I fully believe that this is going to be a statement game by Nathan Rourke. We saw him against this very same Edmonton Elks defense to end the preseason. They had all their starters on the field. He went a perfect 8-for-8 in a quarter of action. I think he can do similar miracles in this game. It's going to be his resurgence, but I do not trust this BC Lions defense right now, and they looked really bad to start the game against Trey Ford and that Edmonton offense, which I'm not quite as high on. I think this has the potential, Hodge, to be a real big shootout in front of that roaring 50,000 plus crowd. Hopefully it will engage them to stay for the entire game. I still think BC is going to come up out on top because they have the better quarterback and they have the better offensive weapons. But I imagine that the Elks are going to cover this game, and that's what the Lions would like, ideally, to have a tight finish in this one and make sure that all those people who came to see Snoop Dogg are coming back for the rest of the season. So it works out for everyone.
Yeah, I have questions about the offensive line in front of Nathan Rourke. A lot of that is injury-related. David Foucault suffering a suspected fractured leg during the preseason. Anu Una, the team's former first-round pick, will be out to start the season as well. I also don't love this BC Lions receiving core. Yes, Justin McInnis is elite. We all know that. But outside of that, I was looking for some Americans to step up. Maybe Jermaine Jackson is that guy who's supposed to be in that return role. I thought he looked incredible on some of those cuts he was making, getting separation downfield in his route running. That being said, I think Nathan Rourke is the trump card here. The last time he had a full offseason to prepare in the Canadian Football League, his half season was the best we've seen from any quarterback this century, on pace for 6,000 yards, over 50 touchdown passes. I think that Nathan Rourke, if he's able to do that, and I suspect he will, he'll have to prove it, but I suspect he will, he can will this team to 30 points a game, night in, night out, almost regardless of who's around him. And that is why this battle of not just two Canadian quarterbacks, but to two extremely talented quarterbacks is going to be must watch for CFL fans in week one.